Hey everybody, welcome to the 20-minute version of Performing the Moment, Performing the Movement. I'm Michael Gould, the director of the Center for World Performance Studies, and it's my pleasure to welcome Nadja Raszewski here today from Berlin, Germany. Woohoo!
Hi.
And this is our second attempt of creating this amazing video, and we're gonna do it. It's gonna happen. We're in the moment. So I'm going to give you a little background. I've known Nadja for about the past 15 years. She's the artistic director of Tanz Tangente, the dance company, but also the dance school. And it's in the heart of Berlin, Germany. We've done a ton of projects together for the past 15 years, all over the place. And it's a real pleasure and a joy to have worked with her for so long. And I thought it'd be nice to share some of her insights on what she's been doing for the past year, and just talk to us in general about all the activities that she's done, which is substantial. We met originally in Finland for this Poison City Festival, which was an all arts festival. And I took a bus with Mark Kirschenmann, a colleague of mine, and his wife, who's Finnish, Katri Irvema, another colleague of mine. And we were on this bus, and I was about to sit down on a big giant bag of sandwiches. And this woman from behind us grabbed the sandwiches out of the way, and we sat down, and I said, thanks. And then hours later, she came off the bus with us, and we realized we were all in the same place teaching together. And that started a long relationship. And the first 5 days that we met in Finland were hilarious, and we had a blast. And so we've continued that fun for a long time. So thank you for coming, Nadja, to this. And
thank you for the invitation.
Yeah, so I'm wondering, maybe you can just give a little bit of background about the Tangente, and also maybe what you're doing for the past year and how you're kind of manifesting the virus, or facilitating, like not manifesting the virus, but facilitating around that, like trying to work around it, given that you guys are all used to dancing together. So thank you.
Okay, you already started with this nice and friendly introduction. I've opened it up a little bit, because the Tanz Tangente is a school, but it's also like, it's a little bit like a center, maybe. So because we have like 20 people working as in it, like a team situation, but we are also going out a lot. Means we are making a lot of like community projects. So we are working in schools. We're making dance projects in schools, in very different schools. Means in schools for kids, but also for teens, but also for people with like mixability, means with handicapped kids. We are working in prisons, we are working in museums, the site-specific on the streets, and creating like festivals, all this. And why I'm saying it is we have a like big range where we try to bring dance, or like contemporary dance, with everything what it means. I mean, contemporary dance is so big, and there's hip hop, and there is like contemporary methods a lot. So why I'm saying it like a little bit focused on this is because the pandemic situation for the last year was like it was not only lockdown outside, it was an inner lockdown, because we had not only like stopping to work, but we also came to the point where we checked what dance means. And dance, of course, we also started online classes and all this, but it is, and I say it again, it's not a never-ending story. It is an ending story, because it is, you come to a point where you can where you check that you cannot like create creative online classes with children, for example, or with, so because you can just, of course, I can give you a movement and you can learn it, but dance has to do with touching. Dance has to do with 3D. So you have to meet people, you have to touch people. So we know that we need the social distance, we need the mask, all this, but it's not very compatible with dance, actually, with everything what you want to do in terms of body work.
Right.
Oh, yeah, right. So we of course we try to stay creative, or like we had online classes. In the moment we could open up a little bit. We taught children, this is what we did in the summer actually. We taught children, but very small classes. So we had just 5 or 6 children coming, not for 1 hour, only 45 minutes, because then we had these 15 minutes where the next group could come. And we taught outside because fortunately we have a big, how do you say, outside?
Courtyard.
Yes.
Mhm.
So we could, they could hold this distance, and we could at least bring them into movement. But then now we have the second lockdown, means we are closed since November, and we are making like videos on Vimeo, or like people can so in any, so we make how do you say, like little Spaziergänge, when you walk with somebody outside.
Yeah.
Right. But for this walk, of course, you can just get some little videos with dance.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Some dance tasks, for example. So they can download it on their mobile phones, like 5, 6 tasks, and then they can walk with their children outside. So we try out different things to just bring dance or movement to the people who can. We cannot do it, but they can do it. So every different things we try out to survive, actually.
Yeah, and I mean, it's just it leads like to, I think we're all kind of struggling with how we can maintain our creativity, but also use our creativity to keep people engaged in the arts, especially little kids, because I know that you teach a lot of kids and they have so much energy, they need to move. And I think that what you are doing in Berlin for them is like so substantial and necessary for their, kind of nurturing, for their, being able to be grounded, but also get out all the energy in a creative way. So it's kind of fun that at least you're giving them some tasks to do, that they can move outside, even as the weather turns cold, because Berlin is very similar to Michigan. We have almost identical weather at all times. So I know that it's getting colder now. Of course, it's harder. And of course, in the United States, the virus is going bananas here. I think it's a little more subdued in Germany, but so what plans for so that's the teaching side of things. I'm just wondering what plans you have for like the dance company side of things. I know that there have been I've seen a bunch of videos that you've made. So they're still getting together to rehearse, is that right? Or
yes and no. So I can focus on 3 things that we are just doing now, or trying to organize now. The first thing is that I made actually a piece for children, and we rehearsed this until the 22nd of December, because I got money from the States, and but we had to spend this money also in 2020. So this is why I created and also produced the piece. And but I produced the piece because of the pandemic, or because of the situation we have now. I produced the piece for sporting halls. Do you say this? So like big halls in schools where the kids getting their
like a gymnasium.
Right. So so it's not on a stage, or because in the TanzTangente we also have a little theater. But it's not for like a smaller theater room. It's for a big space. So we don't need any technique, but we are working like with big balls and with like very acrobatic movements. So we take a lot of space, but we can go in the schools, means in the moment when the schools can open again, and we hope that this will be the fact in February, then we can go there and we will have our premiere. Premiere in the end of February in one school, where we can at least perform for 1 week, and we will perform for all classes.
Oh, that's great.
300 kids or something like that.
And so just so I could kind of clarify, just ask a couple questions. So I know that one of the things that you're extremely good at is like utilizing resources, because like either to save money, or because a certain school or a certain activity, or in prisons, they have limited amounts of resource. And you mentioned limited technique, but I think what you meant is that there's limited technical stuff like lighting and
Yeah,
sound.
yeah.
And so like, just to clarify, you're using what they have or what you have, which are like giant exercise balls and things that the kids readily have and like are also fun. And I think fun is a big part of what you do in your kind of choreography for kids, you know, like you trick them into moving in synchronous, you know, moves, but they're like joy beacons, you know, they love doing that stuff and you make it
Right.
fun for them. So that's really cool. And the nice thing is it gives them something to kind of look forward to when they get back all together, you know, so.
Right, and in the best case, we also can, because the piece is 45 minutes long.
Wow.
And after this, we plan a workshop with the kids. So because we are working with a lot of objects like balls and all like a gigantic cube, for example, and a lot of like movement. The piece is finished after 45 minutes, and then we have another 45 minutes with the kids.
Okay.
Means then they can run around, they can like telling their own story with maybe with the same objects, but on like in connection with the piece they saw. So
Right.
this is the idea, actually, to also bring them in movement and make the movement normal again. Actually.
Yeah, that's great. It's nice for them to get out and run in a big gymnasium. But what I love too is after the dance is done, it seems like they get to interact with the things they just dance with, but maybe you're letting other kids join in, like some of the audience or just the kids you dance. Yeah, great.
No, of course. No. The piece is not with kids. The piece is danced by 4 professional dancers. And then, it's a piece for the Tangente, because we couldn't rehearse with kids.
Okay.
Right, because so I could rehearse with these 4 dancers because they are living together. So they are like a virus community. This is the thing. So, but the 4 are professional dancers from the Tangente Dance Company. We create this piece together, like for these 45 minutes. It's about coming from a non-form to a round form to a cube.
Oh, nice.
This is the way it goes through, actually. So you can connect it with to mathematics or to sport, whatever. So it's a piece for a school, but after the piece is danced by the professional dancers, we grab the children and then work with the children after.
Okay, I see. Because I mean, I guess in the past, what we've worked together in Munich doing, like, it was like 300 kids there or something. It was like a ton of kids dancing together on stage. What about, part of the title of our series is performing the moment and performing the movement. And we talked briefly about this earlier. It's, in the United States, between other crises with the president, and we're talking 2 days after the storming of the Capitol, there was a big movement, Black Lives Matter movement. And also another kind of with Trump and what's happening politically with immigration. And I know that there's issues in Germany with immigration, and there's the far right kind of faction who are anti-immigration in Germany, but also that you've worked a lot with, incorporating dance and immigration, and also that having grew up in West Berlin and knowing that there's East Berlin, like there's a lot of things that are like kind of melded together there. And I'm wondering what's happening now with that, with those ideas, or anything going on in lockdown mode.
Actually, to be honest, this is, I mean, yes, in terms of because this transit, so this is a project what we are also like with you together. You can maybe also talk about this a little bit more in this moment, but finding these 60 dancers doing and transit, the idea of transit has of course to do with immigration, West Berlin, East Berlin, when this whole thing started. But in terms of everything what we were working, for example, with refugees, with all the, like, when you say immigration, I can tell you that in Germany, and this is where I think there is a big difference between Germany and also the United States, is that we, since 1 year, the coronavirus pandemic thing is all over the place. So there's nothing else. So we had this, I don't know if you got it in the meantime, or like in your news, but there was this big fire in Moria, in Lesbos, where all these
yeah.
Yeah, right. So we have like, I don't know, almost 40,000 people who are there. And Germany, as one of the first of the countries in Europe, said, okay, we can take people from there.
Yeah.
This is, I don't know, I think 3 or 4 months ago now, and nothing happens.
Oh boy.
The situation is just stopping, and nobody can get any news or like what's going on there, because everything is around the vaccine, around the virus, about the new like situation, what is changing all the time. So actually, it is not, we are not coming in schools, we are not coming in any refugee camp now. So this is all, we are not, we cannot work in prisons, nobody can go in now. So all this work is stopping now. So we can maybe start it again, or we hope we can restart it when it is, we are coming through this pandemic situation, but since 1 year, forget it. No work and no projects.
Yeah, and I mean, I think so. I know that the situation there was tough in where they burned down the camp because they were so frustrated with the conditions.
Right.
And it's unfortunate that the pandemic has kind of overshadowed all the action, you know, especially on the part of Germany to take in the people to get a better life, right?
Right.
But just you mentioned transit and the piece. So we have a few minutes left, and I can just say like maybe just a little bit about that piece. Before the pandemic was like, well, right when it started in March, you had contacted me about doing a new piece called Transit, which is an art show from your brother Oliver, and he created in 1993 kind of a 240 panel work, so 240 different pictures, and 60 of those were based on viruses. So it was really, for me, I'm like, oh my gosh. So his premise was that viruses, these tiny microscopic things, will take over giant architectural spaces. And so he had 60 drawings of architectural spaces that he manipulated on a computer, and 60 viruses that he blew up thousands of times bigger than they are. And you sent those to me, and Oliver sent me the pictures, and we went back and forth, and I created the music for this show, which ultimately I thought was going to be a gallery show, has now turned into a gallery show plus a dance for the Tangente dance. And we were going to do it, but we can't do it because his piece Transit actually is happening in real life, where a novel virus is taken over and we can't go into spaces. So, but I have been obsessed on this piece since March, and have just finished it now. We're in January. So we're hoping that we can get together and recreate, put up his show, his artwork with my music playing, and have a dance concert that goes along with the music and the art. So I guess that's kind of a quick summation. I mean, if you want to see all the artwork and you want to hear some of the music, you can go to my website, gouldmusic.com/transit, and you can see what we're talking about, because it's really a substantial piece and we only have a few minutes left. But Nadja, so what is your hope for this? Like, when do you think we're going to be able to do this? I mean, this is like creative work that's happening in the pandemic for both of us. And we have no idea. I'm supposed to come to Germany in June. If I get a vaccine, maybe we can continue our quest, and we'll be teaching for the University of the Arts in Berlin. But hopefully sometime, if I'm there, we can also do transit, but we don't know, do we?
Yes. No, we don't know. But let me finish maybe with two like positive things. The first thing is that I hope that we will have an invitation for transit in the summer, actually, in a very crazy space. Actually, it's an old energy Werkhalle,
Yeah,
Kraftwerk, I don't know.
so it's a power generation
Yes.
like facility. Yeah.
Right,
That power.
exactly.
Yeah.
And it is in the east part of Germany. So Luckenwalde is a very small town so now we go back. So the circle is closing because transit has also to do, because my brother or we grew up in West Berlin. So transit has also to do with this transit thing of east and west part of Germany in this time when he created this artwork. So when we have this invitation, we can do a live performance there with his pictures and your music and the Tangente Dance Company. Then this would be the premiere of this transit thing. So I keep you online with this.
Yeah. We'll keep our fingers crossed.
Right. Fingers crossed.
Fingers
right.
crossed.
And the second thing is that this year we have like a jubilee with the Tanz Tangente, because the Tanz Tangente will get 40 years old. Means the founder of the Tanz Tangente, Leanore Ickstadt, founded the Tanz Tangente at 1981. And now we have 2021, means 40 years. And since 3 years, we are creating, in the first week of February, we create the Tangente Dance Festival. Of course, this year we cannot do it. So I thought first I will not do it. But now, of course, we are doing it.
Good.
And we are doing it not online because everybody is doing it online, but we are doing it with projections. So again, we have 2 gigantic house walls where we project like stuff from Ollie. We will hopefully have your music if we could on the outside, so people can come in. And we have this house side where we have like, I think 8 windows. And from the inside, we will create like these, like with
rear projection.
Right, with projections.
Yeah.
So means people can come for 1 week, every day from 6 until 8 p.m. People can just loop in and out, can have a little drink, but they are standing outside. So they cannot come in the room.
Right.
So this is, I will not, every artist said, okay, let's do it in March. Let's do it in June. Let's do it in August. And I said, no, we stay with the Tangente Dance Festival in exactly the time where it is going every year. It's the first week of February.
Oh, cool. So let me explain real quick. So the courtyard where the dance house is, there's a big apartment building on the side, and that apartment building has this enormous blank, beautiful wall that you can project onto. And so it looks really great. And then the Tangente house itself has windows where they'll rear project some of that stuff. And there's some really crafty people there who do some amazing video work. So it's going to be awesome, I'm sure. So anyway, I think we're out of time. And I mean, we barely scratched the surface. And now I realize like 20 minutes it flies by. And I want to thank you so much for, coming to talk to us. And if you want to know more, you can go find Nadja Raszewski if you type in Tanz, T-A-N-Z, Tangente, like tangent with an E at the end, you'll find their Twitter feed or Facebook account or website. You can find all those things. Correct?
Yes.
All right.
And from my side, thank you very much. Everybody stay healthy and creative.
Yes, stay creative. Thank you all for coming.